sitting on that. What am I sitting on now? I'm sitting on colourful pencils, fine liners. Yay! Because I do this right now. Whoops, adult colouring, and it's quite nice because it helps with anxiety. And yeah, I'll show you a couple of what I've done because I express my feelings, and this is messy. Like, this looks like I'm dangerously ill, which I'm not, or like I'm 2 years old. But basically, everything that I do with colouring or drawing looks like I'm 2 years old. And then there's this, which is with a black star in the middle, but good stuff and bad stuff in one, and nothing looks the right colour, which is good because I like that. Yeah, and I write words as well. This is a forest. My mum just came home. This is a forest, and there's lots of black, but there's also some yellow, so some hope, I guess. This is an owl, and don't be surprised when my mum shouts or comes in because she just came home. This also looks like I'm dangerously ill. This kind of also looks like I'm dangerously ill because it's a smiley face upside down. It's a frowny face, but you can't really see it. And on this wheel, there's a heart. There's a red heart, and on the other side it says, "It's not easy being green, is it?" I don't really remember why I wrote that. And then it says, "How would I know?" Well, I just do. I think that's like a pouty reaction to my brother or something. And there's this. Or probably a pouty reaction to myself, actually. This again looks like I'm dangerously ill, but it's green this time. And then this, another forest. Yeah, and this, I don't know if that looks like I'm dangerously ill. It's a blue, it doesn't look too bad, I think. And there's a rabbit and a hedgehog. This was actually a happy thing. This is a colourful thing. Yeah, and that's basically it. So I've been doing adult colouring because it helps with anxiety. It helps reduce anxiety. And this is by Johanna Basford. And it's in German right now, but they definitely have it in English. In German it's called Mein Zauberwald, which means my magic forest. I don't know if that's the same, if it's called my magic forest in English, I don't know. Yeah, but that's not what I wanted to talk to you about today. I hope you haven't let yourself be distracted by me sitting on pencils and talking about adult colouring. Because today I actually want to talk to you about it's not like I forgot, I just didn't say anything. Today I actually want to talk to you about tips on how to deal with being bullied. And for this I'm just gonna real quickly tell my mum that she shouldn't disturb me because it's a serious topic, so just a second. Alright, let's get to the bottom of this. Not of this. Okay, so I want to talk to you about how to deal with bullies. Because I know a lot of people get bullied and have been bullied, and I've been bullied as well, quite a lot, from about when I was 8 to when I was 16. And yeah, I just want to talk to you about it a bit, some tips that I find helpful or would have found helpful to hear when I was younger. The first tip is talk to someone who will take you seriously and or who knows what you're talking about. Sometimes people just don't get it. Sometimes they're just like, it's not so bad, because they don't live through it every day and they don't know how you feel. They can't look inside you and tell how you feel. But when you feel really bad, the worst thing that somebody can do is throw your feelings into the bin and say they're not worth feeling. So if your parents are telling you, like if you told your parents and they're telling you to stop being a baby or to just ignore it, then just keep looking for the person who does understand, and keep explaining to your parents how you're feeling, because they might be able to understand it at one point. If they don't right now, they might still understand it later. So just keep looking for that one person who does know what you're talking about and who will take you seriously and who won't say, oh, it's not so bad, or tell you that you're a baby, or tell you to ignore it. Because really, ignoring it when you're feeling this bad, you're not ignoring it. You're giving it a lot of attention in your head, and you can't ignore that. It's just like, it's not possible. So just keep looking for that person who does understand and who does take you seriously, because they do exist. It's not like there's so many people who will take you seriously and who do understand. You just have to be patient to find them. Tip number 2. Do not feel ashamed for how bad you're doing. Most people won't feel ashamed for feeling bad when they're like hit and punched every day. But a lot of people will feel ashamed for feeling as bad as they do when they get insulted or pushed around or ignored, because ignoring is also a form of bullying, and it feels horrible, doesn't it? It really feels horrible. Don't feel like you have to feel ashamed for that, because it's normal to be really upset by that and to feel really bad for that. And it's not just physical abuse, it's emotional abuse, it's ignoring, it's all that stuff that makes you feel bad. Whatever makes you feel bad, you have a right to feel bad. You don't have to feel happy all the time. You have a right to feel bad, and you don't have to feel ashamed, or you shouldn't feel ashamed for feeling bad as you do. Obviously, you can feel ashamed. I'm not going to tell you you have to stop being ashamed, but there's not a justified reason that dictates that shame is the logical response for feeling bad when being bullied by words or ignoring or anything. So try and feel like it's okay that you feel bad about this, because it is. It's normal and it's understandable. Yeah. Tip number 3. Say this to your bully. I feel so sorry for you. My heart really goes out to you, because you're missing out on being friends with some amazing people. This is genuinely true. Bullies discriminate against awesome people like us. They just say, okay, because of whatever reason I don't like about you, I'm not going to give you the time of day. You won't be the first or the last person that they discriminate against, and by doing that, they miss out on some of the best friendships they could possibly have. So, as well as being true, this is also powerful, because it makes you seem confident, and it makes the bully think, because they're not expecting you to say that. So I know that this has worked on more than one occasion, so on 2 occasions, but it's something that I tried out because I just thought it was a good idea, and it worked, and I really like it because it's kind as well. It's not like you're a horrible person, go die. It's like, I'm sorry you are this way, that you're behaving this well, because essentially you're sabotaging yourself. And that's true, the bullies are sabotaging themselves. They're sabotaging their own kindness, they're sabotaging others being kind to them, they're sabotaging a good life with great friendships. And because helping others makes us feel good about themselves, makes us feel good about ourselves, being awful to people might make them might make them feel powerful, but it won't make them feel good about the person that they are. You know, so this can be powerful. I'm not saying that it always works, but it can be powerful, and it's also true. And the 4th tip that I have is, you're allowed to stand up for yourself. This is something that I didn't used to believe was true. I thought people were meant to stand up for each other, and if you tried standing up for yourself, saying, I'm actually a good person, I do not deserve you treating me this way, was pathetic, because basically other people were meant to do that for you, and you were not meant to be confident like that. But it's not true. You can be a friend to yourself. You can say, I'm a good person about yourself without seeming arrogant or anything like that. It's a good thing to do. It's important that you do it, because sometimes there isn't anybody. Like, people don't believe it, but sometimes you're extremely and utterly alone. It just happens. It's awful, but it's true. But that doesn't mean that you have to feel like you deserve it. You should be able to stand up for yourself without feeling guilty about doing that. I felt so unjustly treated because I know that I always tried to stand up for other people if they were in trouble, or if somebody was mean to them, even if I didn't know these people, or even if these people were horrible to me. Truly, I stood up for my bullies. I did. But when the time came around that I was being bullied so badly that nobody actually was on my side anymore, there was nobody to stand up for me, and I couldn't expect them to. I did, but I couldn't, because it's a tough thing standing up against all the rest of your class, your teachers. That's a really tough thing to do. But I would have done it for somebody else, so I should be able to do it for myself too, right? So it's definitely a good thing to stand up for yourself, and it does not mean you're pathetic or weak or anything. It just means that you're really brave and really strong. Still have that moment where you stood up for yourself, and where everybody saw that you're an amazing, strong person. And if they choose to discriminate against amazing, strong people, well, again, they're completely sabotaging themselves. So, yeah, this is just the tips that I wanted to give you, and then there's two other things that I wanted to tell you that would have helped me if somebody had told them to me. One, it's not your fault. It's never your fault when you're being bullied. It does not matter what you did. If you bullied your bully at one point, it still does not give them the right to bully you now. If you bullied somebody, you should apologize for it afterwards. But even if you don't, but I advise you that you do, it still does not give anybody a justified reason to bully you. Nothing. Even if you killed people, you should not be bullied. Nobody deserves to be bullied. It is not your fault that you're bullied, no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody thinks, no matter if they tell you, well, you should wear different clothes, you should take care of your hair more, you should be kinder and more outgoing. It's not your fault, and maybe you should try to be kinder or whatever, but it's never your fault, not even a little bit, if you're being bullied. It's just not. Yeah. And the second thing I wanted to tell you is that you are not alone. Sometimes in situations in the classroom or in whatever kind of situation, it seems like you're completely alone. Nobody stands up for you, nothing. But A, it doesn't mean that there's not some people who are on your side, who are just not brave enough to stand up for you. And B, it does not mean that you're the only person who's ever been in that situation. There's so many people who have been in that situation. People of all ages, of all rates of success. I'm sure, like, presidents have been bullied. I'm sure very famous actors have been bullied. You're not alone. There's so many people in your age group who are just waiting for someone like you to talk to them. It's just sometimes difficult to find them. I'm sure there's some in your school, and I'm sure there's a lot online, and I'm sure there's some in, like, groups. Sometimes it's difficult to find them, and sometimes it seems like you're the only one this is happening to. but it's not. And at one point you will find other people who know what you're talking about, and who do understand you, who will take you seriously, and who you will take seriously. Because really, that's the only good thing that comes from bad times, is that you'll be more tolerant and understanding to people who have been through tough times, because you know how bad it can feel. You know that it's not just something that can be waved away with your hand, that you can just ignore, that you can just move on from. It's just, you understand that people have been through it and that it's tough. And that's a good thing, because people like you will be looking for people like you to help them, and they will find you and you will find them. Which is like, I don't even know if these few sentences make complete sense. Those aren't the only tips that there are against being bullied, and for when you're being bullied, there's lots more, but I just wanted to concentrate on a few that would have helped me a lot had I heard and believed them when I was younger. So I hope that you liked this video and it helped you in some small way.